Okay, so when you begin your desert landscape, you're going to have your piece of paper, you're going to have 3 pieces of cardboard, and each one of these is going to be a stencil. One will be a stencil for your clouds, one will be a stencil for the mountains, and one will be a stencil for the mesas. So the first one is going to be the mountains, or the clouds. So you're going to draw maybe some nice fluffy clouds and draw that all the way across, and you're going to cut that out. The next one will be your mountains, and you might want to do, you can do various size of mountains. Okay, and remember that mountains in the desert are usually pretty rocky. So there's your mountains. And then the next one, okay, the next one is going to be your mesas. And mesas are like mountains, but the top has been eroded away. So they're kind of like platforms. Okay, so there's my mesa. So I'm going to cut all 3 of these out. Okay, the next thing you're going to decide is you're going to do a base color for your desert and then your sky. Now, you can choose to do any color you want. If you want to use brown as your base color, you can do that with a blue sky. If you want to show a sunset, then you might decide to make your sky pink or purple. We're going to be layering colors on top, but just pick 2 colors for your base, and you want to make sure your horizon line is going to be right about in the middle of your paper. So I'm going to use pale green, and I'm going to use the side of my chalk, and I'm just going to do a nice wash of color across. Now this is very dusty. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to put this away. I'm going to do a blue sky here. Now I'm going to go right up to my green. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to smooth this out. And I want you to use 2 different fingers to do this. I don't want you smearing the blue into the green. So you'll take your finger and kind of smear in this green. Okay. Now you can wipe your finger off in between. I'm going to use a different finger to smear my blue. Okay. All right. Okay. So you can just take this, and if you want to tap off your chalk, and you can clean your hands. I just wipe my hands away, and we're ready. All right. The first one we're going to do is going to be the sky. Now I have 2 different templates here. I have my positive and I have my negative. For the sky, this is the positive and this is the negative. We want the clouds to be lighter. So I'm going to put the positive stencil down, okay? I'm going to take a darker shade of blue, and what I'm going to do is just color in some heavy chalk right on the edge. You really want to press hard because you want to get a lot of chalk dust here. Okay, now put my chalk down. I'm going to take my finger, and I want to have a nice clean finger, and I'm going to push the chalk up into the sky. And you have to hold your stencil still. You don't want your stencil to move. And I can blend this in a little more. Okay, so watch what happens when I take this away. Okay, there's my first cloud. Now, what I want to do is I want to flip this over, and I'm going to do just part of this. It's not going to fit all the way on. And I'm going to do some more clouds over here. Another layer. I could choose another blue if I wanted. I'm just going to stick with this blue. Okay, and there's my second layer of clouds. Pull that away. Okay, so there we go. All right, now for the landscape. Okay, I've got this one. I'm going to use this is the negative, this is the positive. I want the mountains to be positive. I want to do this in chalk. So I'm going to put the positive away, and I'm going to use the negative. And I'm going to put, this is my middle ground. My mountains are the middle ground. Okay, so I want them kind of partly on the ground and a little bit into the sky. I'm going to choose, let's see, I'm going to choose a deep green for the mountains. Here's the green I'm going to use. So I'm going to take the chalk. I'm going to chalk up right around. Remember, this is the negative. Okay. All right. You want to get a lot of chalk for these mountains because we want to really want them to stand out. All right. So I take my finger. I'm going to pull down the chalk. And I think I actually need a little more. I'm going to take another color here. I'm going to use this brown. And I'm going to just pull a little more in. Okay, I'm layering the colors here. Okay, I'm going to pull that away. And there's my mountains. Now if I wanted to do another mountain over here, I could do that. But you know, I'm going to leave some room for the mesa. Okay, the mesa is the same thing. You want to have, you've got your positive, this is what we want chalked, and you've got your negative. So I'm going to arrange this right about here. This is where I want my mesas. Remember, my mesa is going to be somewhat in the foreground. Okay, so mesas are generally, they don't have a lot of trees on them. They're flat. So you probably want to do these in a brown or a bright red. And so I'm going to chalk up this. Okay, clean my hand, and I'm going to chalk up my mesa. All right, and there we go. There is your landscape. You're going to tap off your dust, and then we're going to add the details.